Oh, I just wanted to take a moment. I just finished my Ingomu learning community. It's based on my manifesto. Diversity intelligence is the new emotional intelligence. And whoo, I shared, it was very vulnerable. And I just wanted to share a little bit with you because I talked about diversity dimensions and the iceberg, if you will, certain diversity dimensions we can see in others and certain diversity dimensions we don't. And there's a whole lot with it, but I just wanted to share a little bit because I shared about the tip of the iceberg, which for me is being a black woman and my natural hair journey. And I had never shared it before, right? And just quickly, just to lay the groundwork, I talked about the fact that it was a couple of different assumptions first. And one of the most important ones that I talked about was that, you know, diversity efforts fall short unless people can feel that they really truly belong. And there's a quote from Harvard Business Review of 2016 that I love. And this woman says, what I really want is more of those moments when I feel that I belong to a team, I matter, I'm able to be my authentic self. I don't want to be seen as the role I perform. I'm a woman, a mother, an artist, an athlete, dyslexic, and I'm an introvert. I want to be able to bring my whole self to work. That's when I have the courage and the motivation to speak up and go beyond my comfort zone, right? And the other is from and they do the chief people officer at Great Places to Work, and she talks about the best workplaces forge bonds among coworkers of different political views, different backgrounds, different job titles. And at a time when our national society fabric has frayed, workplaces that are great for all people can play an important role in mending America. And I thought that was powerful, and that's why I went on this journey, if you will, to declare the manifesto and start participating with Ingomu in the learning community. But what I want to share with you was really powerful because I took the group through a process that I use, which is really unfolding what you think, what you feel, and then why you think and feel what you feel. And I'm saying that that is how we can forge those bonds and hear people's story. It's a process that you can use. So I talked about my natural hair journey, and I had my own aha moment when I was preparing because I first talk about, I was a manager, organizational development manager at automotive company, one of the big three in Detroit, and also an executive coach and consultant. And I remember when I went, and this would have been into around the early 2000s, and I decided to get my hair braided because I had had some breakage. And first of all, people go like, hair can break, and it's like, yeah, black hair can break. So I had hair breakage. I wanted to get braids and braid extensions, and so I went to two black individuals higher up in the company. One was one of the head of in HR, and the other was in our department. And I said, I want to get braids. Can I? So it's first of all weird that I asked, can I? They said yes, if I keep them neat. When have I ever not been neat? I thought, right? And it reminded me of an article in the Washington Post from last year. More states are trying to protect black employees who want to wear natural hairstyles at work. And she talks about sitting at a luncheon next to a recruiter for corporate board positions who was saying basically she can't find good board member candidates. And so she asked her a question: would you rather have a woman of color with a sleek ponytail or with a natural hairstyle like locks or an afro? And the recruiter said, a woman with a sleek ponytail. And she goes on to talk about how she wears her hair straight 99% of the time because of how her clients are responded to and how damaging it can be trying to straighten your hair all the time and with chemical relaxers and things like that. So that was my first story that had me think, wow, it's awkward, right? Because when I had the braids, okay, I wore the braids. The black women said it was okay. And I had the braids. And then I remember getting on an elevator one day. My hair was sore from getting the braids. And the vice president of the department, an older white man, walked in the elevator and he says, oh, what do you got? He literally started like digging and looking in my head, which was sore. And asking me what was going on with my head and how he liked it. But like I became a circus, spectacle. Dun, 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 dun. Then I move on to New York, and I go and I ask the director of our coaching firm and my manager in the coaching firm, that I was a coach at the time. I grew to be the director myself, but at the time I wasn't. I said, I'm transitioning my hair because I left from Detroit. I had been wearing it straight and long and blonde, and I didn't have a hairdresser anymore. I wanted to transition my natural hair out. Transition means you start to let your hair grow out, and the straight part you start to cut off. Can I start to wear my hair in a fro? Girl, yeah, be you, do you. Felt, I felt accepted. And then the CEO of the company, we were going, whenever we would fly into these amazing places to do, workshops and things for our clients, sometimes he'd give one of us a ticket to ride in first class, and it was me this time. He's like, Kim, you can ride in first class. I'm like, great. That particular day, I didn't have my fro out because we had like a 3-hour, 5-hour flight. So I left it in its twists, and I think I might have had a hair bonnet on, or a hair like wrap, or I don't know how I had it. But the point is, it wasn't in its fro. He's like, oh, doggone it. I thought you was going to wear your fro in the first class. Dude, why can't I do what I want to do? You only gave me the ticket so I can wear my fro? Dun, 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 dun. So you feel like you're part of a circus act. And it really wasn't until I had workplace stress and had hair loss and buzz cutted my hair that I really became free. Because at this point I had no choice. And since I had no choice, I didn't care what other people thought. And it allowed me to learn every follicle of my hair and my pattern and how to, make it work. And as it grows out, you don't know what you have until you lose it. So I, really love my hair the way it is now. So I became free. But the point is this: I had to think about my why. And my why, I had to think about the fact that my mom, as I was growing up, she didn't love her hair. She didn't like her natural curl pattern in her hair, and she straightened it and relaxed it and did the same thing to me. But more importantly, what she told me was when she was a little girl, she would wrap a towel around her head and run through the house and pretend it was long hair because she wanted to have and desired to have long hair. And then I thought about another time when I was young and I was having hair breakage. It was a thin mess in the back. You've seen people with their hair, oh, it just doesn't work. And I remember I had a boyfriend, sweet 16, was super duper in love with this guy. And he was like, don't cut your hair, don't cut your hair. So here I am looking like a fool with broken off hair and needed to have it cut. And I didn't. And then, long story short, I found out he was cheating on me, and he was with another girl, and the girl was at his locker one day. She went to a different school, and I don't know what ethnicity she is, but she looked white. And the point is, her hair was like the towel. It was down to her butt. And I'm thinking, dude, this is what you wanted me to have? Is some long hair down to my butt? That's never going to happen. And when we broke up, I cut my hair, and, it was cute. Anywho, I realized my why. Like, it goes all the way deep to my mom not loving her hair. And so every time I'm running around asking people for permission to wear the hair that grows out of my head, and we don't just roll out the bed, I'm talking about styling it and doing what I want to do with my natural hair, I either get, if you do it this way, or it becomes a circus act. Dun, 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 dun. Deep today, right? Yeah, makes you think. And so I went on to have my learning community think about their tip of the iceberg and what people see and how people react to what they see. And I'll ask you to do the same. And you can also check out my learning community at ingomu.com.